For example, you may conceive the situation in which I commute every day from home to the university. The network knows about this, knows in meaning that it registers where I go through, and puts me some information available like the electronic newspaper or these kind of things. Or we can go even a step further, which is the network using users as sensors of channel conditions, of capacity, of all these things, and taking advantage of these. If we are looking at all these things, then in the end, we need to make them in a way that all the complexity is hidden from the user. And this was somehow addressed this morning as well by Graça, in the sense that the users don't care about the technology, they care about what we can do with the technology. So there are huge challenges when we address the future internet, which is to develop all these things, but then to put them in a very easy way so that the user can just take advantage of them in a very simple way. What kind of services can we envisage also for the future internet? Of course, mobile 3D internet is one thing that everyone probably heard about it. I'm not sure if you already bought this iPhone, which is holographic images. I think this is a prototype. You can buy it this winter for Christmas, something like that. Another thing that we may have is real-time ad hoc communities. You start having these based just on the outskirts of the network, meaning you have services based on Google or other things that enable you to have some kind of ad hoc communities. The idea here is to have this kind of communities based on the actual network, with all the extensions that you can imagine from social networks and again the management information and so on. Really, technology is developing very fast in this direction, and all the things related with context awareness and augmented reality as well are really moving in here. You can also look at things which may seem that are not directly related with telecommunications or the networks of the future, but they are, and one of them is to look for information based on objects or ideas and not exactly on text. These days we still Google based on text. We put 2-3 words there and we get something else, something back. But you can imagine that yeah, okay, thank you. You can imagine that you put Cristiano Ronaldo's photo there, you don't remember his name, and by the photo you can search. There are of course some initial things you can already do with this, but we're talking here about major, massive way of doing it. The various European technological platforms have come together, and there are other platforms that are talking after me, so probably we'll be showing this picture as well. This is the monument to the future internet, where you can see that you have the society on the top, you have the pillars for the internet by and for the people, you have the internet of content and knowledge, things, internet of services, and then on the very bottom you need the infrastructure. So we will always need technology and infrastructure to support the future internet. That's very clear. So just by finishing, we can also, or we have rather, to have in mind that there are regulation and standardization issues that need to be taken into account. Not only to identify the proper bodies that need to be addressed on these matters, but also the things that need to be addressed, the topics that need to be standardized or not. There are things that probably don't need the standardization, and the market will just decide. It's very much the US approach. Or then we really need to put a lot of people in a room and come together to an agreement. This is something that is still very open. And also the matters on policy are important. Since future internet is really mixing the technologies of information with many other areas, biology, sociology, and so on, then this puts a problem, like again it was addressed this morning, which is have interdisciplinary topics that really put a lot of people, and how to deal with this. It's not easy. People have different ways of looking at it. And this also creates another problem. Of course, not only the aspects that governments will always have to have access and to control information. We cannot forget about these. especially the last years, obviously, and also even if we look at the other areas, the other sectors of economic activity, they have different developments, cycles, different periods. Buildings don't evolve as fast as telecommunications, or cars don't evolve as fast as telecommunications. And these different development cycles clearly will put a lot of problems. So I'm coming to the end. Let me finish with 3 quotes. These 2 probably you know very well. They are the reason why IBM is no longer manufacturing computers, at least not laptops and all these kind of things, and also the reason why Digital Equipment Corporation no longer exists. But I would like to finish on a positive way, which is the best way to predict the future is to invent it. Thank you very much.